GST, when we talk about registration, what I have seen, some of you have taken registration just because you are doing some construction, you have bidded for some construction jobs. Some registrations are just for that, though there is no turnover. Okay. So when we have taken that registration, what type of registration was that? When we take registration on our own, if our turnover limit has not crossed 10 lakh in case of services and 20 lakhs in case of goods for the state of Meghalaya, then our registration is voluntary. If we have taken registration as of date and we are not doing any business over there, or we are doing some business in that registration, then for cater you will not apply for a new registration. You will apply for an amendment in the registration. If you already have a GST registration and you are going ahead with cater, if you are doing under your own plan the cater business, then you will go for an amendment. You will not apply a new registration at all for the state of Meghalaya. You can take GST registration from rupee 1 of your turnover, which is voluntarily, up to 9 lakh rupees is voluntary per year turnover. Turnover is not your profit. Turnover is not profit. Turnover is sales. Many people think that till they don't have 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs profit, they don't need to take registrations. No, it is not profit. It is your sales. If you have sales of 9 lakhs plus, you have to compulsorily go under GST registration. So now who is liable? A GST registration can be obtained voluntarily by any person or entity irrespective of the turnover. Turnover means sales. I am repeating again and again because this is the normal mistakes I see when I see my clients coming into me. Turnover means sales. Whatever money you receive is your turnover. Okay? And it becomes mandatory if the person exceeds a certain turnover. Certain turnover in the state of Meghalaya is 10 lakh rupees per year for services and 20 lakh rupees per year for goods. What is a year? The year starts from 1st April of one year and ends on 31st March of the next year. Now many people had the confusion that for Meghalaya it is 40 lakhs limit. No, for Meghalaya it's not 40 lakhs. For goods it's 20 and for services it's 10 in Meghalaya. Meghalaya falls under the special category state. And in your case, since you all will be rendering services, so for you all the limit is 10 lakh rupees. Now aggregate turnover means what? My taxable sales. Taxable sales as per CONG is what comes in a bank account. Okay? Plus my exempt sales. Plus my interstate sales. Plus my exports. This is my taxable turnover. These are four things. This taxable sales can be in my bank account or it can be through cash. It doesn't matter. Sales is sales. It doesn't matter whether you are selling and receiving money through bank account or you are receiving money in cash. Sales is sales. Similarly, your exempt sales can also be through bank or cash. But your interstate sales is always through banking channel. I have generally not seen any interstate sale through cash because you are issuing e-way bill. Over there an invoice number comes, quantum and everything comes. So this is generally through bank. And exports is always through bank. So all these will form part of your aggregate turnover. I am not saying taxable turnover. I am saying aggregate turnover. Aggregate turnover includes your taxable, exempt, export, interstate. Now what are the documents required for GST registration? For a sole proprietor, these are the documents. which are required for GST registration. First is PAN card, second is Aadhaar, the third is photograph of the person, the fourth is bank account details, and the fifth is address proof. In this, address proof means the address proof of the business. If you have taken a property on rent, it will be a rent agreement copy. If it's your own property, then you will be having some receipt of the thing. It might be a document from the government, or it might be the yearly property tax that you might have paid. So there will be a receipt. Address proof is not your residential address proof. Address proof means your business address. For LLP and partnership firms, these are the requirements. Now, PAN card of the partners are required. Why? Because in sole proprietor, you will be an authorized signatory. But in partnership, there will be one or two of them authorized signatories. Na? You cannot say in partnership firm 5 people are there, anyone and everyone can sign. No, you have to define who will sign the GST returns. Or who are the people, maybe one or maybe two, who are authorized to sign. Then copy of the partnership deed, photograph of the partners and the authorized person, address proof of the partners. Now, Aadhaar card only of the authorized signatories. You may have 2 partners as authorized signatory, or you may have 1 partner as authorized signatory. So, Aadhaar card only of that person. And proof of appointment of authorized signatory. What is proof? That is a letter signed by all the partners that they agree that so and so person will be the authorized signatory for purposes of GST. Okay. So we are through with registration. Now we will come to return. The moment we register under GST, we have to file returns. Now under GST returns, what we have to file actually? What we are declaring? Why the government wants to know? Why? Firstly, we are declaring our purchases. How we are declaring our purchases? If we are buying any taxable product, okay, we are giving the GST number to that person. Yes. So that person, when he files his return, it shows in your GST return, in your input side under GSTR 3B. When we are making any purchases, it is either taxable or it is exempt. Now, when it is taxable, what happens? It means we have paid GST for this. Yes? And when it is exempt, it means we have paid no GST for this. We don't have to fill in the entry of our purchases. What we fill in first? We fill in the entry of our sales. Correct? Now when we fill in the entry of our sales, by what time we have to fill it? Either 10th or 11th of the next month. Now when we are filling our sales, please understand, our sales is purchases for someone else and our purchases is sales for someone else. So by 10th or 11th, if we don't fill in, then the person who has purchased from us will not get the credit. Clear? Now when we are filling the sales, we again have to fill in taxable sales and exempt sales. Clear? Now taxable means on which we have received GST and exempt means on which we have not charged GST. So what happens on this? Our GST payable gets calculated. On this there is no GST. Clear? On sales which is exempt there is no GST. On sales which is taxable, the GST will be depending on the rate that we are charging. Now purchases. Now how we can ensure that our purchases, whatever we have purchased, is entered by the person from whom we are buying? How can we ensure it? Generally, 80% people file their purchases on time. There are some 20% who wait for what I also don't know till now. One advice that I give to my clients, please hold back their GST. The moment the person files the GSTR 1, and you can see it in your 2A, you release this GST. Only the GST. This is just for your security purpose, that if you don't receive this credit, you are not at loss for that. 1 lakh you would have paid, otherwise also you have received the goods. Correct? So your problem is this 5,000. You cannot do entry for this 5,000. The entry to be done by you has been stopped by the government now. Before we could do the entries, now we cannot do the entries. Correct? So in order to safeguard your GST credit, you will just hold back the GST, so that the moment it comes in your GSTR 2A, you will release this. GST can turn your profitable business into a loss-making business if you are not alert about your input tax and your setting of input tax. Be very, very careful. And the first thing that you should do whenever you purchase anything from anyone, please ensure that person writes your GST number on the bill. See, if he does not write your GST number, how will you know what is your GST number? Right? So if you are purchasing anything from anyone which is for business purpose, please ensure that person writes your GST number in his or her bill.